The atomic structure states that the electrons rotate and orbit around the nucleons. The nucleons consist of the neutrons and the protons, and the electrons are considered B's gadget and the Amber's gadget. Electrostatic force, one of the four fundamental forces in all of the universe. This is represented by Jackie pulling in everything, such as how atoms pull in of negative opposite charges. Quantum immortality is a quantum theory where is like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, where there are two states of parallel universes where Doug will either survive or live. The enactment of quantum tunneling, where it allows you to pass through walls, pass your atoms through specific barriers. The strong nuclear force that is responsible for binding quarks together. Without it, atoms cannot form, and more importantly, Fortnite would not exist. Least importantly, atoms would not exist, so people can exist. So this is represented by Cornelius teaming with each other, because the stronger they are, then the closer they are. Quantum entanglement, one of the most phenomenon thing that we still have not researched yet. But it is when two particles are linked with each other, when affecting one state would affect the other. So it's pretty much like teleportation stuff.
Self-destruct sequence activated.
The electron spin is the fundamental property of the atom and the particle. In order for a system, you need the atoms to have two different states of spinning opposite ways in order to accommodate for each other. Otherwise, the state would not exist. I do not know much about this, so the sources, trust me, bro. Newton's first prostitute states that when an object stays in rest, it stays at rest. But when an object is in motion, it stays in motion. Which can explain why Mandy's super just stays at the same speed. Sir Isaac Newton's second law of motion states that the more force you put in, the more acceleration you get. Which is why the shovel man, he moves forward with more acceleration because he puts force in that direction. Newton's third law of motion pretty much states an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You know what they say. Yeah, you feel me, top stuff, yeah. Alright, next up, we got law of reflection. So this states that the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection, which is why the Rico's bouncy balls pattern is like that. Not no pattern, just something specific, you know. Projectile motion and kinematics. I will keep this very simple. So when you want to make the object go as far as you can, make sure you use this one specific formula. Could someone tell me what is a kilometer? You get the adrenaline rush when you got the thing in your thalamus or your hypothalamus in your brain, and it gives you a speed boost because of your fight and flight response. Guys, the top 1% is planning on controlling all of us. We need to stop this as a society. We need to stop them before they stop us. We have more people than them. We need to stop the top 1%. Okay, so if you want to imitate what Janet does, so pretty much, she uses the pressure gradient of the Earth. Typically, around ground level, you have high pressure, and then like when you get to like the Mount Everest, you have low pressure. So that pressure gradient, high pressure goes to low pressure, which is lift. So that's how you achieve flight. Thou reminisces on the fact that when you are frozen at absolute zero, you will have no particle movement, which is why the bot is frozen. So this shall be set in history.